Hey everyone, Sergio here with the Rideshare Guy. What do we say on Show Me the Money Club? Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, which I have been for the past year and a half, you may be working a lot harder than you need to. Let's change that. Download the app, link your account where you can manage your income, track your expenses, as well as your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more money, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download the Solo app today. Begin to work smarter, not harder. Link is in the description. Let's get back to it.
Let's talk about this Uber calculating driver scores on drivers already and what it looks like, because it is actually in the wild before it hits September. What is this going to mean for rideshare as well going forward? Because we all know commercial insurance is going up, and we all know that these trackers are selling the information to insurance companies. And I'm having a feeling that it's going to be for the benefit of the companies so they can get better rates. And that means they're probably also going to be curtailing rides, which they've already said in these test markets of standard and advantage. You have to have a certain driving score of 75 or higher. And I have a feeling that this is going to be happening whether you have advantage or standard in your area or not yet. And it's going to be based on your driving score that's probably already being calculated as we speak. And they probably already have that profile on you. So if you're driving well, then you're probably going to get more ride requests. If you're driving poorly, you are probably getting more trip radar requests, Sergio. So yeah, those are a couple of things going on, but it is pretty in-depth.
Okay, first of all, I've been getting my Lyft driving score, and certain weeks it tells me that I don't even have the phone on a holder. That has never happened in 8 years of me driving rideshare. So Uber is using Cambridge Telematics, CMT, they called it. Supposedly Lyft is not. So that's all I know. This I got from a Florida driver, Chris. And after this, I got a bunch more. They go, "Oh, Serge, you're already testing it." I'm going like, "No, it's supposed to kick in when? September 2nd, right? Isn't it?"
Well, that's when the driving score will have an impact on
Well,
advantage versus standard. That doesn't mean that they aren't rolling out the driver score yet.
oh, I get you. Okay, all
So
right.
I honestly, I'm
This is
surprised. I'm not
staggering, though.
surprised that they rolled it out already. I kind of like the fact that they rolled it out so drivers can actually see what it is and kind of get familiar with how this score is going to be tabulated and figured out and everything. So then
Why not?
drivers, if you're under a certain level, can hopefully get above that if they want that 5% hike, or if they want more ride requests versus non. But I think this is going to go much further. I think this is going to be changing how rideshare is. So that means the safer drivers are going to be rewarded with more rides altogether and overall versus drivers who are, harsh braking and, speeding up too much or speeding or anything like that, that would put insurance companies in a awkward position to say, ooh, those numbers aren't looking too well. So I think that's what they're trying to do, is manipulate those numbers so that they can go to these insurance companies and try to get better rates. So then they can come back and say, oh, look, hey, we got safer drivers, but we also have been able to get our insurance rates down. And I think that's going to be mostly reflective on driver score, how they're calculating it, and how they're going to be passing out rides. So this is one of those unwritten rules that I really think they are going to be working on and figuring out even more. And trust me, I would not be surprised already if this is happening across the board and they're just not telling you about it. And they don't really have to tell you necessarily about it. It's how are you getting rides right now? Are you getting, a noticeable uptick of rides that are coming on Trip Radar versus rides that are coming to you specifically? Because it seems like that's the main sticking point when it comes to this standard versus advantage thing. So that could be it. And then, how is your market looking? Are you seeing, surge spots and you're not seeing many rides comparatively? What's going on? So this is going to have to take a lot of introspection as well as what's going on and trying to talk to other drivers and seeing what other drivers in your area are seeing. Because it's not just going to be something where it's a blanket, hey, here you go, this is the closest driver, or this is closest in the queue, or whatever it might be. This is probably going to be the initiation of how you're going to get rides. So if you're driving safer, you're probably going to get more rides. If you're driving poorly, you're probably not going to get as many rides.
Right. So Bear Claw says, what does AR have to do? AR has nothing to do with it, but the original, okay, the threshold until September 2nd is 25% AR, less than 8% CR, cancellation rate, and a driver rating of 485. So that's the first 2 months. And this is not supposed to kick in, but I'm pretty sure since I got these screenshots, they're already keeping track.
Oh, yeah.
That 75% driving score will be the fourth threshold for advantage versus standard driver. I thought about this actually, Chris. I think this is a pretty good deal, right? Because we talk about a lot about these, immigrants. They don't know the goddamn laws, and not just immigrants, but illegal immigrants who are driving on other people's accounts and shit like that. They speed up. I've seen them going, against traffic and all that garbage. So I'm going if they're going to do this. Well, the other thing this does, by the way, I did talk to Uber about this, and I said, unequivocally, okay, they deny that they algorithmically discriminate. Okay, they deny. We talked about this a million times. We tested it on pricing, we tested it on different things, and there's clearly is a difference in pricing, right? So, but they go, we algorithmically do not discriminate. Well, for 8 years of my driving, how many times have you felt like you were getting throttled after you declined like a whole bunch?
Oh, yeah.
Right. But they will always deny that. They will say, no, we don't throttle. Right. This now basically is going to make this legal. Right. And them telling me, goes, Serge, it goes like, you're the cherry picker. I mean, you can still decline 7 out of 10 trips. Right. And still be an advantage driver. I think the threshold pretty easy. Now, what happens a month later? Does it go from 25 to 40 next month? Just like everything else, right? Is that what's going to happen? Most likely that's what's going to happen.
I think that's going to happen because it comes down to trying to change driver behavior. So they're going to try to do that. So hey, you're going to get a little taste of 25%, but this time we're going to up it to 30%. The next time we're going to up it to 40%, and then pretty soon, all of a sudden, it's going to be like 80%.
Well, then that's going to be legal issues there. That's going to be legal issues there. I don't know. I mean, first of all, I don't even know if this is legal, what they're doing. They're basically admitting now that they're saying that we're going to reward the good drivers with more trips, and we're going to, less exclusive trips for people who don't accept enough trips. And if you do read the blog, when they announced that last week, the first line, right? The first line of the blog says, right, we would like riders to come back to the Uber app, right? It's pretty clear that in those cities that this came on, drivers are not accepting trips. And Uber, Mr. Koshoshawi, I know you're not going to come here. I know you are not. However, we played it last week. Chris pulled it off the archives and played it. Here's my rebuttal to all of this. In those 9 cities that you're starting this pilot with, because probably this will never come to California because we have Prop 22, it most likely will make it illegal. And it most likely, in all these proposition states, by the way, this will be deemed illegal. But we'll figure that legality out. DK, you said it. The reason in those 9 cities, by the way, kudos to those drivers for declining every garbage offer, okay? And
you're worth it.
I told Uber, I go, they must be watching Show Me the Money. they go, decline garbage, know your worth, right? And I said, you, sir, we played it last week. We'll play it again, I'm sure, in the future. You said it. If you are not accepting trips, and if that's bothering the riders because they're not getting cars, there are plenty of cars, but nobody's accepting those trips. You said it. It's on you, on Uber, not the driver. That means after 2 years of upfront fares, you're still not pricing trips correctly in those 9 cities anyway. And
No.
like it.
No. I'm going to say all over the place that has upfront fares. They're just test piloting it here in these particular 9 markets to see how it works, to see if they can get drivers to accept more. And if they do, then they're going to start rolling it out. Because if drivers continue and say, nah, well, that ain't going to do anything for me, 5% boost, not really a big deal. Now, if you start getting 15, 20, 25% boost, maybe we'll be talking. But that's what's going to end up happening. So it's a test market. And I think this is just to try to curtail everything. Or the simple thing is you could just pay a ride what it's worth. Drivers would accept it then, and the problem goes away.
What is the acceptance rate in Seattle and Washington State on average?
97.
Yeah. Get it, DK? You pay, we drive. You don't pay, none of this is going to matter. Except I like this driving score thing. Chris, this is in ridiculous detail. I was like, every single trip is broken down, like how you messed up. See, it says harsh braking right then and there. I'm going like, holy shit, that's a lot of information they're collecting on the driver, right? Or it says, see, harsh braking frequency. On Sunday, you did it like this driver did it 15%, or on whatever it is, Thursday, it was like 13%. And then on the next screenshot, it shows where he's speeding, right? Look at this detail. Harsh braking on that trip, specific trip, or this is like his 2 speeding, problems that he had, speeding trips from the past 7 days. It gives you all this information that this is where you effed up, driver. This was where you were going too fast, and this is where you were harsh braking, and this is where you were making whatever turns. I'm going like, wow, this is scary, big brother watching shit. You know what I mean? And this is where you're going to see it in your app. It's going to be like this. It says driving insights dashboard. So this is already in the apps. That means they're doing it. So if you do see this, send me screenshots, people. This is it. Sergio at the rideshareguy.com.
The moral of this story is the amount that they're tracking you and the amount of information and data that they're collecting to be able to create driver and rider profiles is amazing how much it is. Here's the thing. If you do anything on YouTube and you look at the back end analytics, it breaks down everything. There's so much analytics on everything.
I've gone down that rabbit hole.
Analytics. And I can only imagine it's the same exact thing when it comes to the amount of data that they have on each and every single driver, on each and every single rider, and like throughout the entire history.
I like safety. Just don't drive like a maniac. You're not missing much. Period. Unless the rider is going to LAX or airport and slip you 100 saying I'm going to miss my flight, step on it. I'm like, yes, sir, no problem. But other than that, I honestly, when I do rideshare, I drive like a grandma anyway. I'm like, hey man, my life.
My question though is, where do they get the speeding? Do they actually do it at the limit? So if it says 25 and you go 26, are they catching you? Or
no, I'm sure there is some
nice buffer where it's like,
I'm sure there is a plus or minus.
Over.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some plus or minus, whatever. But I like the safety thing. If it's going to lower insurance rates for the companies, are they going to pass it on to the drivers?
As long as they pass it on.
You know the answer to that, sir. So
no, but if they do,
anyway. But so good luck to all the 9 cities.
My original idea still stands that you allow the driver to be able to get commercial insurance where they have their insurance. You don't have to, and then that way they collect all of that commercial insurance on top of the fare, and we're happy.
All right. Well, that may come true. That's all
I hope so.
We'll see.
Because some drivers, I think some drivers would want to do that, and I think other drivers would say no, that's fine. And
no, that will only work for full timers. Full timers probably would want to do that.
Well, as long as it makes financial sense.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I think that's a long way down the road. But I do like this. I like the safety part. If it's going to eliminate bad apples, all power to you. If they're not going to get pings, good. Another thing I thought about, Chris, on advantage and standard, right? Okay, so let's say advantage drivers not only are going to get 5%, but they're going to get the pings. And the standard drivers are going to get the trip radar, right? Okay. So let's say it's a good like weekend and it's really busy, there's a lot of demand, we cannot do like more than 3, maybe 4 trips an hour, right? So there's a glass ceiling there. And so what happens?
Well, yeah,
What
that stuff
happens
will
if
go
all
out
the
the window.
advantage drivers are gone? That they all have gotten the trips, but demand keeps coming. What are we gonna do with the standard one?
That
We're
goes
not
out the
going.
window.
It's like
That's what
I don't know
happens.
about
I
this.
mean, during busy times, it'll go out the window.
This may
When
help
that
actually with the
threshold,
surge.
there's a
This
certain
may help with the
threshold that
surge.
there's a certain threshold that Uber and Lyft want to meet quota-wise when it comes to the amount of drivers that are on the road versus the supply. I'm sorry, versus the supply of drivers versus the demand of riders. They want to have it at certain thresholds, and if they're not met at those thresholds, then all of that extra crap goes out the window.
Okay. All right. Well, I was thinking it may actually benefit to be standard driver, to be honest with you, because let all the advantage ones take the take the trash out, and
Take the
then
trash out,
you
yeah.
know,
Those
and
crappy
then we're
rides
like,
first,
okay, it's cool.
5%
Send it
more, and
now.
instead of getting a $3 ride, you're making 305
Well,
or I mean
exactly
315, and then
315, and
you get
then
a ride that comes in at
but then
27.
yeah, all the advantage ones are on trips already. Well, we can't create cars out of the air, right? So we are where we are. And then
Yep.
demand keeps coming. And I'm going like, I'm going to play with all this. Well, I don't know if we're going to get it. I don't think we're going to get it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, honestly, I don't think, I mean, the advantage versus standard, I think is if drivers actually, curtail their driving behavior a little bit, where the algorithm picks up and says, yes, there's a statistical significant change in driver behavior and they're
Let's
accepting
pay
more,
more.
then I think it's going to roll out. But if they don't, it's not going to roll out. But the driving score still, whether they admit to it or not, is probably going to impact how you're getting rides.
Yeah, I agree with Daniel. I agree. I
Yeah,
100%
well, that's
agree.
what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, look, man,
honestly,
this is whatever. It's all good. I think those are pretty easy numbers to hit. So if you guys can hit test it both. Go to advantage, go to standard. What's the big deal? 25% versus 27%. I mean, it's like, who cares?
yeah.
Anyway, but we'll see. Anyway. So.
All right. Thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.